is screwing themselves. Hear me out. So I've talked about the Pixel 8 recently and how I think that the phone's basically dead now. Like there's no point in buying this phone if they're not going to support it and give it the AI features, the AI model, and the stuff that it was advertised for and marketed in the first place. But that's just a drop in the bucket. So there's a lot of decisions that I disagree with that they're making, and it has to do with the platform, it has to do with the Pixel phones, and it has to do with Samsung. Yes, Samsung. So when you take a look at Samsung, they're getting most of the AI features that Google has. And they're basically giving away the keys to the city. Like I made a video about this before where I talked about it with Magic Eraser. So originally Magic Eraser was Pixel exclusive. And then if you got the Google One subscription and you signed up for it, you could get it and you could use it on basically any phone, like any Android phone. So I threw a fit. I protested and I was like, this is stupid because there's really only three reasons. And I say this all the time. There's three reasons to buy Google. Before it was the camera and it was the operating system. Like that was it. The stock Android and the camera. Those are the only two reasons. Google tried to create a third reason. Or if you're in Germany, I guess it's three reasons or how it is. But there's three reasons, which is the AI. They came out first. They're like, look, this is the first AI smartphone. We're going to do all these AI things. Here's all these AI features. And then lo and behold, they basically handed all those to Samsung too. So not only are they creating these things and then teeing it off and giving them to Samsung, and it was one of the big marketing things. Samsung, the AI phone, Samsung AI, AI for all that stuff. And you had the keynote and they're like, ta-da, we have circle to search. Well, we didn't even know we are getting circle to search on the Pixel phones until Google chimed in on their own on Twitter during the keynote event saying, "Oh yeah, the Pixel 8 and 8 Pro are going to get circle to search on the same day that the Samsung S24 series launch, which was January 31st." So, not only did they start giving the features away a year ago, but now they're giving away all the AI features. So, if you can get all the AI features on a Samsung phone, why should you get a Google phone? It just loses that exclusivity that it has. But the thing is, it also shows that the Tensor chip might just be useless. Hear me out. I think the Tensor chip is fine. I like the Tensor 3. I think it's good. I think it handles AI stuff pretty well. I think that the Pixel 8 and 8 Pro have been good phones. But the whole point of the Tensor chip was so Google could make their own chip so that way it could run their complex AI algorithms and take advantage of the Google AI stuff, the server-based AI, and basically be, okay, this is what we call Edge AI. Edge AI is a device. It's a device that processes AI functions and then it sends it to the cloud. So it's kind of a symbiotic relationship. There is stuff that's done on device. Like there is stuff that's done on device, and that's what Gemini Nano is supposed to help out with. You can do this enhanced smart replies, you can do the summarization of the recording app, you can get enhancement with photo and video. It's going to get better and better and better. But that's only part of the equation. If you get video boost, that has to be done on a server off-site because the phone is not powerful enough to handle that stuff. So there's Edge AI, which is basically on-device AI, and then there's cloud-based AI. So with Google, they have their own proprietary models. They do their AI. Other companies do their AI. But the thing is the Tensor chip was supposed to be the key to the city to give us the best AI we could get on a smartphone. And that was the third reason that Google created for their own relevance. And then they've basically pissed that all away and handed it to Samsung. So Samsung, okay, we've got Live Translate on Google. We've got the interpreter, which is basically the same thing. It was built off of all that stuff. And then you've got Circle to Search. That's on both of the phones. The list goes on and on and on. So it kind of takes it away. And Google has been making a lot of really bad hardware-based decisions. So if you didn't see the videos, if you didn't see the outrage the other day, what I just talked about a minute ago, the Gemini Nano AI, that's the AI model that's on the phone that's capable of helping out and doing some of the heavy lifting for the AI tasks on the phone. Well, the Pixel 8 Pro has it, and the Pixel 8 has the exact same chip as the Pixel 8 Pro, but they're saying, Google's saying there's a hardware limitation in the Pixel 8 that can't handle the AI model. So my thought process is if you can't handle the first most basic rudimentary AI model that Google has created, and this chip in these phones was built from the ground up to handle this stuff, what's the point? So they're either lying to us and there's not really a hardware limitation and they're just trying to make it a more premium feature. But my thought process is these phones were designed marketed, made, sold under the AI premise. Like the whole point of the Tensor chip, the whole point of the Pixel 8 experience with the Tensor G3 was to handle all these advanced AI calculations and run these AI models. So that to me is a fundamental task. And they're telling me that even though this phone has the same chip as this one, it's not going to run that AI model. And this isn't anything fancy. It's not, when you buy a Pro model, you get what you buy, right? You get the bigger screen, you get the bigger battery, you get the higher resolution, you get the third camera, you get the temperature sensor. That's the Pro stuff. But when it comes to the software updates, you're supposed to get basically the same fundamental features. Now, I get it. It doesn't get video boost. That's okay. That's like a pro level feature. But the first very basic AI model the phone is supposed to run, they're saying it can't do. So it's either a lie, which is a marketing trick to try and convince people that it's a pro level feature, or there's something in here they haven't disclosed or told us because they haven't elaborated on why it's not a hardware, why it's a hardware limitation. But extending that out even further, we have the Google Pixel Fold, $1,799 when it came out, and it's not even it does not even have circle to search. They gave circle to search to the Pixel 7 and the 7 Pro, which are running the same chip, the Tensor 2, so why can't it run it on the Pixel Fold? So you've got an $1,800 phone that's not being supported adequately, and it's not even getting features that the cheaper phones are getting. I mean, the $500 Google phone is getting it with the same chip. Why isn't the $1,800 phone, right? So that's troubling because we're not even into a year on this phone and it's not getting basic stuff. And then this phone, the Pixel 8, is like 4.5 months old, 5 months old, and it's not even getting the first generation AI model the chip is designed to run. And I knew this was going to be a problem because I talked about it with the Pixel Fold before when I was saying, okay, it is criminal that they're putting a Tensor 2 in here because that chip is not going to be supported the same way. It doesn't have good heat management. It doesn't have good battery life. It doesn't have the best signal. And then 2 months later, you're going to come out with the Tensor G3 and the Pixel 8 series. So they basically gave us a scrap parts bin phone that was basically designed and built by Samsung. And now it's not even getting features. So if you look at this trend, it's very troubling because we have phones that aren't even a year old that are really expensive, that are not getting very, very basic updates that Samsung's getting. Yes, Samsung is getting all these features. So you can get a base model S24. And the other thing is the S23 phones are going to get most of these features soon too. So that means even Samsung is going to support a year-old, generation-old phones with updates that Google is not giving to their own phones, running their proprietary hardware and chip that was designed to run these things. See how that's bad? So not only is Google screwing their own fan base who's buying their phones, but they're also giving away the keys to the city to other companies. So when you look at both of these things, it really doesn't set up a very good outlook for success. Like they already have Google build, Google has Samsung build almost all their stuff. And I made a video last year talking about how the Pixel 7 was the best Samsung phone of the year because it's over 51% Samsung hardware, Samsung memory, Samsung screen, Samsung camera, like Samsung build, like there's all sorts of stuff in there that's all Samsung. But the other thing that pissed me off about the Google Pixel Fold, they didn't even put the high level camera in it. It has the same camera as the Pixel 7a, but it's cropped. So it's like, you're not even getting a good camera. You're not even getting the top of the line camera. You're not even getting the newer camera series that was in the Pixel 7, 7 Pro. So it's like, I don't know what these guys are doing. I guess they think maybe people aren't smart enough to connect the dots and figure these things out. But I get more and more comments all the time from people who are like, hey, when am I getting this feature? When am I getting this feature? Why am I not getting this? How come this is not being supported? Why is this late? And Samsung has been Johnny on the spot the last couple of years. I remember a time when Samsung was notorious for not providing software updates. And now, not only did Google launch and say, oh, we're going to give 7 years of updates, Samsung's also giving 7 years of updates. But Samsung, almost every single month, beats them to the punch. We get a faster security patch and update. We get more reliable updates. Google didn't have a good last couple of years. I mean, shoot, Android 14 was supposed to launch in August. We were supposed to get the quarterly feature drop in September. That didn't happen. So they just gave us Android 14 a month late and called that the feature drop. And then the one in December, I think it had issues and was delayed too. And I still get people saying, hey, some of these features don't work on my phone that are supposed to. So Samsung has basically established themselves as the king of Android which is stupid because Google is like what, the third largest tech company in the world. The billions and billions of dollars they're worth and making profit every year. And it just seems like their commitment to their own software and their own hardware is like such a lackadaisical approach that they let somebody who actually gets Android from them, who gets these features from them, to take the number one spot. So all of these things, and I've complained about a lot of this stuff over the last couple of years, it just doesn't bode well for the Pixel phones because, well, if AI is not really that great on their phones and you can do it on other phones, and it shows that the Snapdragon can do it. See, the whole thing with the Tensor chip is it's supposed to be really good at AI. Basically, everything else is kind of average, and it's got about a 3 gigahertz clock speed. I mean, it's a very capable chip, but it's not as good as the Snapdragon 8 Generation 2. It's not as good as the Snapdragon 8 Generation 3. And Google wants us to gloss over that for the fact that it's supposed to be so good at AI and so good at handling all these computations and so good at running Google's AI models that you should buy it. That's why you should buy it. But we all know that like the benchmarks are insanely higher, and I made a lot of arguments. It's not about the benchmarks, it's about performance and how it works. And that's all fine and dandy if you're not giving the same features to your competitor, and you can see side by side that they run basically just as well. So Google needs to abandon the Tensor and go back to Snapdragon. They need to support their phones better. They need to be giving these features first and giving them to their phones because that's what keeps people in the ecosphere. People are not going to buy a new Google phone every year to get a few new features. And what does that say about the Pixel 8 when the Pixel 9 gets here? What does that say about the Pixel Fold 2 that's supposed to come out? Is it going to be just as shoddily supported? Is it going to be in the same position? Are they going to continue to make their phones obsolete every year with all these new features that they're not putting on their phones that other phones are getting? So it's just a recipe, I think, for disaster. And it's really frustrating because I've been supporting the Pixel phones for a long time. I love the Pixel phones. I love what they can do. I like a lot of the products. And it's just like mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake. So I don't know. I know there's people out there who can be like, you're just whining, you're just complaining. But like, look, I am just trying to point out the obvious things here a lot of people don't see. And if you have fanboy eye covers over your eyes, if you've got blinders on, then you won't see that. And you don't want to see that. But I think I've laid out a pretty good logical trail here on why these things are bad. Because Samsung, lots of reasons to buy. And the other thing is, if you weigh it against the ecosystems and stuff, you look at Apple. See, Apple is exclusive. Apple only does Apple. Google gives everything to everyone. And that's fine. That enables us to have all these great platforms. But if you can't distinguish yourself on your own platform, if you can't maintain a reputation higher than other folks who you're giving permission and ability to use your platform, then I think that you've got some problems as a platform. So that's all I've got in this video. I'm going to wrap this one up. Let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comments, all that great stuff. We'll talk about it. I'm sure some of you will be upset about it, and that's fine. I have my opinion. I'm the one making the video, so I'm telling you my opinion. That's why people come here to watch, I think. So, yeah, if you disagree, that's fine. I mean, you can have your own opinion. That's what opinions are for. That's why we have discourse. That's why we have conversation, and we can handle some of that stuff in the comment section. So that's all I got. As always, if you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching. And I'll see you guys next time.